We showcased a lot of big tournament games last week here on the OH Report, and you're about to relive the best moments right now with Brian Skowronski.
Here you go, Joe.
Much better, but I don't have a fork.
Oh. Don't worry, Joe. We'll make sure that you get a fork and you can eat your cake. But for right now, we got to serve up the people at home a nice, big, healthy, juicy serving of some tournament basketball highlights. Because if you're a fan of the OH Report, you saw that we were pretty much everywhere last week. So we're going to throw it in the spin cycle and get you in the know. Everything that you needed to see from the districts and the sectionals for the boys now moving into their districts. Hit it! Let's start things off with the Division III Worcester District Semi, number 7 Loudonville and the top-seeded Smithville Lady Smithies. Early lead here as Naomi Keeb gets the bucket on the baseline drive. The Redbirds would fight back though and take the lead. Corey Vermilia wide open. How can you leave her? 21-16, they're up at the break. Second half in Smithville picking it up defensively. Sophia Spangler, the scoop, and the score is going to be the only field goal of the second half for Loudonville. The Smithies on the other side, though, outscored the Birds 16-3 in the second half, and they would pull away late. 32-24, big victory for them as Loudonville season comes to an end. Crazy finish between league rivals Clear Fork and Ontario would see the number 7 seeded Warriors have to come way back in the second half in this sectional championship game, and pretty much everyone stepped up for the Big O in the final frame as they would erase a 12-point deficit. A personal 5-0 run courtesy of Grayson Purvis would prove to be huge, taking the lead in the closing minutes for good. What a game unless you're a Colts fan, but man, did they empty the tank. Ontario moving on with a 3-point win. Second half of the doubleheader that night at Madison was just as good and very similar, with Gallion getting almost 50 combined points from Elijah Chafin and Cooper Kent. These two dudes were flat out amazing in this game, and they basically led Willard the entire night until this unbelievable stretch by Max Dawson late in the third quarter, where the kid connected on not one, not even two, but you're going to see 3 consecutive trifectas hit would close down the deficit. Max finished the night with 34 points. I think he's got to be a first-team All-Ohioan when it's all said and done. He would get some help down the stretch, too, from the Robinsons, and then Strayer there, crashing the glass. He would have the stick back. Flash is moving on to the sectional final. Basically, everyone's coming back for Gallion next year, too, so the future very bright. Defending district champion Shelby looking to knock off number 1 Norwalk, and how about the shooter's touch there for Demi Hipp? It would be your last career game though, because District 6 Player of the Year Brooklyn Davis was a flat-out savage. Need I show you more than this 6-0 run to close the third quarter and take the lead headed into money time, where she had 2 straight steals and layups? Shelby was in it to the final horn though. Audie Albert puts it in and one opportunity late in the fourth, but mama, there goes that savage again. Davis had a 24-point double-double to give Norwalk a program record 21 wins and counting, as you'll see coming up later in the highlights. Clear Fork versus Upper Sandusky, and it was a great start for the Lady Rams' Cadence Isles, who's going to score and give them a 12-5 start right there. Lady Colts come storming back. Liv Davis gonna hit the 3. The game is all tied up, 23 each at the break. Second half and Upper taking a page out of the Smithville book as Leah Kinley finishes a 12-3 third quarter run. Then in the fourth, Lady Rams finishing things off. Addie Newman with the hoop plus the harm. Upper Sandusky advances to its 2nd consecutive district final with a big-time victory over Clear Fork. Winford looking to keep the Cinderella run going against top seed Margaretta. Meredith Engler with a great cut there. It's 6-5 Lady Royals after 1. Second quarter now, and the Lady Bears start to create some distance. Lily Edwards for the 3. Then on the very next possession, it's Edwards again canning the triple. It was 23-8, a big lead for Margaretta at the half. Late third, and Reagan Heck with a beautiful dish to Jennifer Patrick. Margaretta once again heading back to the district final to take on Upper Sandusky. We'll show you those highlights in just a bit. The 10 seed was sticking with the top seed early. Cedric Cook hitting one of St. Mary CC's 3 trifectas in the opening quarter, made it 15-14 Panthers, leading Colonel Crawford after 1, but the Eagles would get it going offensively. That's Jacob Maddie, smooth put back there. Third quarter action now, Braxton Baker gonna take it to the cup, takes the bump plus the bucket. And then Baker once again, this time the stop and pop. He drops it home and scored a game-high 28 as Crawford moving back on into the districts for an amazing 12th consecutive season. The number 3 Golden Knights played some inspired basketball against 12-seeded BERNE Union. Right off the tip, Drew Hammond hits the triple, and it would only get better from there. Northmore in transition now and finds its way to an open Caleb Chenier, who plays a ring around the rim with that triple. 36-15, they're on top at the break. Third quarter, and Maxton Lauer threads the needle inside to Grant Bentley as 10 Golden Knights would get into the scoring column in this game. They were led by Jax Winger's game-high 18 points as Northmore wins its 7th sectional title, running away 64-29 with the victory on their home surface. Crestview looking to improve on a program best 20 wins, but number 4 Genoa came out blazing hot from the field, burying the Cougars in a 12-0 hole to start the game as they scored on their first 4 possessions, all triples, including that one right there. We gotta take you to the closing seconds of the second now, where you'll see Owen Barker crashing the offensive glass. He's gonna trim down the margin to just 5 at the break. The senior was huge in this game. Start of the fourth now, Tyson Ringler gives Crestview their first lead of the night. Hoop plus the harm, and the Cougars would never give back the lead either. Justice Thompson here with a key bucket down the stretch, and Crestview would go on to cut down the nets as sectional champions. They're gonna play Huron tonight in the round of districts with the 58-53 win. Third matchup of the season now between SBC Lake Division rivals Norwalk and Perkins for a spot in the D2 Regionals. Kenzie Smith had it going on early. Late first quarter now, Cam Kaufman pushing the break, finds Cameron Van Vlera for the fast break bucket. Lady Truckers shot it so well though from 3. Here's Kylie Moser liking the downtown view. Double-digit cushion for them. Van Vlera returning the favor though midway through the fourth. Cuts down the deficit to just a 6-point game, but the sophomore Smith, she was special in this one. Clean pull-up jumper, basically icing the W here as the Lady Truckee, they win the district for just the 2nd time in program history, and they actually won last night too. They are moving on to the regional championship. D2 sectional final at Madison would see Max Dawson, surprise, surprise, doing big things as Willard went toe-to-toe with 3rd-seeded Lexington. Dawson had 28 to help carry the scoring load, but the Minutemen, they got some great size and length. This is 6'7" Elijah Hudson with the J. Hudson gonna get the bunny this time. 6 set up by Bragan Fogel to make it happen. Flashes actually had the lead though late in this one, looking for the upset, but Fogel gonna make the play of the night. Final seconds here, he would steal a Flashes inbound and cruise in for the 2-handed slam. The freshman, an amazing first playoff game to help the purple and gold claim the sectional crown. They will get number 2 Shelby next. Mount Gilead looking for their first ever district title win against Fisher Catholic at Ohio Dominican University. Aubrey Thomas inside out play here. Gonna find Lydia Stallnaker to knock down a big 3, cut the deficit down to just a 4-point game. Later on, Grace Shipman with a shot. She's gonna miss, but fights for the rebound, recovers it, and passes out to Madeline Elson for the 2. End the lead midway through the second. We fast forward now to the third, where it's Jada Dixon passing it inside to Ellie Bruce, who knocks down the hook shot over her left shoulder. They would continue to feed the skilled big in the paint. Bruce with the bucket again down inside over the double team. Fisher Catholic would go on to defeat Mount Gilead 51-42. They claim the Division IV district title as Mount Gilead wraps up their best ever season in program history. So we take off our hats to the Lady Indians. 19 wins, getting as far as they have ever been in tournament play this year. Buckeye Central versus Danbury, and Kate Cecil picking up right where she left off in the district semi as Buckeye Central coming out and taking a commanding lead early, but Danbury's Camille Stevens right back and responding with a 3 of her own to keep things close eventually. Paige Colleen finishing a smooth take off the pick and roll courtesy of a Cecil setup, and the Buckettes, they begin to pull away just a bit. However, this bucket from Danbury's Kelly Ewing cut the deficit to just 7 points, plenty of time remaining, but in the end, experience matters, and Buckeye Central pulls away 39-21, securing their 7th straight district championship as they are moving on to Thursday's regional. To last night's boys district semis at Willard we go, where an upset was brewing early on. 7-seeded Norwalk St. Paul, already with a couple tourney upsets under their belt, would knock down some big shots in the opening frame, and they had the lead. But Crawford's Braxton Baker would start to take over in the second. He had a great position down on the block all night, and we know he can do this. Catch and shoot. 28 points for this kid on this night, and his senior running mate Jacob Maddie, big two-handed throwdown. He was equally as good, especially in the second half, finishing his night with 26 points of his own. Colonel Crawford would go on to crash the Flyers 64-51, but who will they face on Friday night for the district championship? Well, one thing's for sure. Lucas Jr. guard Logan Toms was definitely not interested in letting Monroeville get by them in the semifinals, where the Cubs got beat a season ago. He was huge early on in this game. The Eagles, they've got some supreme shot makers on their end though. 1,000-point scorer Jimmy Klingman nails the fall-away J there. Fourth quarter now, Monroeville trying to close the gap with Aiden Goodwin from downtown right in front of his bench. But Toms, he was special on this night, actually outscoring the Eagles through 3, and he ended the day with 28 to set up a rematch versus Colonel Crawford in the district title game on Friday, a showdown we've all been waiting for. Northmore trying to get to their first ever district final appearance, and they would start strong against Delaware Christian. Grant Bentley hits the 3. They put up 25 in the first period, but the Eagles wouldn't back down. Gabe Shear cuts the deficit down to 12 at the half. The lead would go down to the single digits before Jax Wenger would kill any Eagle momentum, going coast to coast for the and one. He finished the night with 22 points. Later on, it's Bentley with the dagger from the corner. He had a game-high 26 as Northmore will indeed play for its first district championship on Friday night against number 2 Patriot Prep down in Columbus. So obviously a ton of highlights, and we've got way more action coming up this week live and free on the OH Report, including some more live and free action right here on the Joe Show. So check back with us. Travis is going to join the set, probably stuff his face with some cake, and then also we'll give you his top 10 best teams on the Country Roads rankings for the boys and the girls. That is coming up right after this.